Hi, welcome to another typology interview. We have Katie Toby. How are you, Katie?
I am doing good.
Good. So tell us a little bit about how you got into typology.
Oh, I was introduced when I was 16.
Okay.
Um, at that time, I tested as an ISTJ, and that really helped give me some clarity in what I was experiencing and how to move forward.
Right.
So
Okay.
that's been a while.
And did you get into OPS after, or did you explore it more, or?
Well, when I got to college, I started realizing that ISTJ didn't fit all the way.
Oh, okay.
And from there, I started digging into it, and I ended up traveling through pretty much all of the types.
Okay.
So then when I discovered OP, which was saying they would be objective, I was like, yes, that I need that.
Right. Nice. Okay, and then what did you type yourself when you started the typing process?
Well, that kind of gets interesting because I have feminine TE as my lead. So
Okay.
I'm very kind of susceptible to other people's logic and reasons.
Right. Okay.
So I did type myself as TESI,
Okay.
but then people would post like their tests and things, and I would change my mind. And
I
yeah,
see.
there was no like one type that I was stable
So
on.
then you did get TESI?
I did
Oh, okay. So
at one.
yeah, ISTJ is close, more ESTJ, but yeah,
It was, yeah. I think
yeah,
that's because as a teenage child who had never heard of it before, I was just very open with what I
right,
was.
right,
And then it was later when you learn about it, you start thinking, oh, well, maybe this.
right. So do you have the two introverted animals because you seem more extroverted?
I'm TESI, and then I have blast, sleep, consume.
Okay, so then you do have two introverted animals. Okay,
Yes,
so then that would
and
make more sense with ISTJ a little bit.
right. With
Right,
play being last, sleep is what everybody else was seeing.
right, right. That makes sense. Yeah,
Yeah.
nice. So okay, so tell us a little bit about your TE. Is it masculine, feminine? Oh, it's feminine, you said.
Feminine.
So
Yes.
are you more interested in what works, or are you interested in agreement, or?
What works for sure, but I'm also very sensitive to the emotional atmosphere. Uh,
Emotional. Okay.
yes, I think that comes with the double feminine, the
Okay.
tester. Like, I kind of feel like I have my finger on the pulse of what's going on around me,
Okay.
but I have no control over it. I don't feel comfortable being able to influence it. So I want it to work, but I want the tribe to like it, and I don't know how to, meld the two very well.
Right. I see. And do you identify with being a lead thinker?
Yes,
Yeah.
all the
Oh,
time.
okay. And do you feel that the thinking is more to do with the world around you, or an objective thinking, more objective on its?
When I'm considering what I think is reasonable or logical, I do feel responsible to come up with reasons that the entire tribe will agree with. It's not enough for something to be logical for me.
Okay.
But I also do a lot of thinking about who am I, and
Right.
that I'm not as interested in what other people's opinions are.
Right. Do you think that's more has to do with your FI?
Yes,
Yeah. Okay.
it's double activated, so I do have
Right.
quite a bit peeking through.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So, what about your SI? Tell me a little bit about how you see that.
SI was one I was really unsure about
Right.
because I don't follow through with it very much. Um, Dave and Shannon are right that it's a very hard function to have.
Okay.
It's very hard to live up to, and you're very aware of how well you're not living up to it. So
Right.
I've spent a fair amount of my life kind of running from it.
Can
So
you
I was,
explain what you were running from specifically a little bit? A little bit of S specificity here.
well, my house would be the best example. I have a
Okay.
very messy house. Not like I left a couple dishes out. It's
Right.
really, and I spent quite a bit of time kind of trying to avoid thinking about that and instead doing stuff online or something because I couldn't get on top of the house. And it bothered me so much that I just kind of ignored it.
But you think you see that as SI, the organization of your house? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
What about your sensory, your memories, your sensations, your experiences? Are they very vivid and deep, or
Well, I have the feminine sensory,
okay,
so I have a very fuzzy memory about a lot of that. But um, yeah, I definitely care more about the facts of what happened
okay,
than what you might draw from it. I want to make sure that the facts are right. And I definitely trust that more than I trust the intuition.
okay. Do you see your any pop up at all in the moment, seeing possibilities?
Well, mostly I see that a lot in my consume. That's part of my consume, and
Right.
I like to consume different ideas and concepts. And I see how um, someone explained that masculine NE tends to lock onto a possibility and run with it.
Right.
And I do see some of that pop up where, but it's kind of a now and then thing. And I don't
Right.
feel confident at all at predicting what's going to happen.
Are you able to let go once you've locked onto something, or is it difficult?
Yeah, it only lasts a couple of days that I'm running with it before it's like, okay, got
A
to fill
couple
in
of
the
days.
details here, see if the tribe is agreeing. Yeah.
Right. Interesting. And then your double activated FI as a demon. Do you see that that's a demon?
Yes, because I can see, um, what I like. I have a very strong idea of what it is that I like and what I value, but I don't integrate it very well. um, I tend I can see that TE tendency to get focused on figuring out the logic, and you're just hammering away at it and you're not paying attention to your actual priorities. I can
Okay.
see through that. So uh, I don't feel like it's integrated very well. But I can look at it. I can see that it's there.
Right. And do you experience your values and your feelings and stuff? Because you're it's double activated. Yeah. Are you in touch with that part of you?
Strongly.
Yeah.
Yes. But I know people who can put a name to their feeling and then they can control it.
Right.
And I don't have that. I can
Okay.
see it, I can name it, but it's running away with me. It's masculine, and I don't cope with it very well.
Right. What kind of tidal waves? Like, you don't have to give specifics if you're not comfortable. What kind of tidal waves does it cause?
Um, what I see a lot that bothers me, I don't know if it's really a tidal wave, is I'll be discussing something with somebody in a very feminine TE way, trying to be reasonable and work
Right.
together, and then they'll say something that crosses the value. And
Okay.
it comes pouring out all of a sudden. I'm out for blood. I'm going to win this. And my TE is in the background still going, but you want to get along. You want everybody to
Right.
agree. And then I feel that tension a lot, and it just runs with me sometimes. I'm like,
Does the thinking part of the T sorry, yeah, does the thinking part of the T try to find reasons when they go against your
yeah,
values? Did you try to you try to
I
explain it
do. I still
logically?
try to express it in a TE way,
Right.
but it changes the whole demeanor. Yeah.
Right. And people can tell that you're getting emotional?
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
All right.
And I can see that they get surprised because they're not used to seeing that side of me.
Right. Does it come out suddenly or does it come out gradually?
No. Flipping a light switch.
All right, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay,
Yeah.
what about your blast? Do you see that you're able to communicate easy enough? Do you say that yeah, you have no problem talking and yeah,
No.
no. Do you have
No.
any fear of talking in front of people or anything as well?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I get
Yeah,
stage fright.
right.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But once I'm in the situation, if there's something I feel like the tribe needs to know, I'm going to communicate it.
Right, even though it's feminine.
Yes, it takes precedence over the other things, making sure the tribe has the information they need that I think
Right.
they need.
Oh, okay, I see. Okay, yeah. And so and like giving the information that you think they need doesn't feel like you're threatening them. It's just informing them.
Yes.
Right. Okay. Okay. Yeah.
And I've learned over the years to try to present it nicely. I'll try to say, just so you know, here's some more information. I don't care what decision you make, just wanted you to know.
Right.
But
Right.
yeah, it still doesn't always get well received.
What about your sleep then? How do you see that happening?
Oh, I do that a lot too, for sure. I'm always going back over what has happened before and thinking what led up to it, why did I react that way, what could have been done differently,
Right.
just processing over and over and over. Oh
And do you find that all that processing comes in handy in later situations, or
yeah. I think so because it does make me more aware of what my FI is,
right?
what are values and priorities. But I think mostly what it is it um, kind of like internal counseling. It
Okay.
just
Yeah.
helps
Yeah.
process things so that you're not carrying the past into the future as much. So I
Right.
feel able to deal with what's going on now because I've done so much sleep.
Right. Right. Yeah. And do you see that the sleep works with your blast as well? Like, does it make it easier to have that organized information and able to talk about it because of this?
Yeah, probably. I think that
Yeah.
makes sense.
And
Yeah.
do you see it also working with your consume, that you're consuming from a place that's more sleep?
Oh, yeah. I consume it, I sleep on it, I tell somebody about it.
Right.
Yeah. It's a
Okay.
circle of it.
Is consume like a hobby for you too? Do you notice that you enjoy? Yeah.
Yes. Um, and interestingly enough, it's also part of how I process my FI. Like as a teenager, things were kind of stressful, and once a week we would watch a movie, and that was my chance to kind of process my FI by going through the emotional steps of the movie.
Okay.
So I see how I use consume to kind of help myself or to distract myself, like from the house.
Right.
Yeah, definitely a hobby.
Is it something that you can do if you have other things that you need to do, or it's something that you sort of need to?
It depends.
Okay.
Depends on whether or not, like, if it's something I'm trying to run away from, well, yeah, I'll definitely consume in order to do that.
Right.
It can be distracting when I want it to be. But if I've decided I need to get this done, then I get very irritated if, say, my husband wants to consume first. No,
Right.
let's just go to the store and do it.
Right. Do you, what about your play? How do you see that coming in last?
Oh, well, there's the definite lack of energy. Um, and I see this come out in a lot of different ways. Like
Right.
on Facebook, I like to blast a comment, tell somebody the information. That's all well and good. But if they respond back with a question or something that I'm going to now have to respond again, and we start getting into more of this back and forth,
Right.
ah, so draining. The fun is just gone.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
What about your energy levels? Do you sleep a lot compared to other people, or are you more
Um,
relaxed, or?
I need a solid 9 hours at night. I
Okay.
can't I can't do the 5 or 6
Right.
thing. Um, but when I'm awake and I'm ready to go. I think the blast kind of kicks in there. But I
Okay.
can't just go, 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 go. I definitely need my downtime to sit and think and process.
Right. Before you go, you need to prepare.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So I kind of
Uh,
cycle through the two back and forth.
right.
Mhm.
Nice. Okay. What about how you see your play work with your blast, or are you able to blast play, or?
I've been working on it
Yeah.
because I find that other people prefer to play
Right.
than blasted at. And I do have that TE need to be around the tribe. So I've been working on my play and
Right.
trying to respond in the moment without thinking it through as much
Right.
first.
So
It gets
something
me
like
in
this is
trouble.
draining for you?
This is mostly blasting though.
Okay.
I mean, I have had this conversation with
Okay.
you multiple times a day since we've
Right.
met.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Do you see yourself as being information dominant as well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
hmm They talk about people who are information dominant caring very much about like using the right word and the connotation that those words have. Very important to me. I'm very careful about that.
Right.
Mhm.
I see. Okay. You're very careful to be specific about and not make mistakes in your language.
Yes, and
Right.
I hold my husband accountable if he says the wrong one.
Is he energy dominant or?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
You can see
Okay.
both the sleep and play in him, and he's just not as careful with his words. And I'm like, no, but you said.
Right.
So I'm having to learn to let go of some of that, realize it's just not his priority.
Right. Right. Yeah. How do you think you've been able to grow since you've been typed?
Oh, a lot of ways. Right off the bat, we have that I'm a decider, so freaking out over people things, and it feels real. Whereas my husband is definitely the one freaking out because the computer didn't do what it was supposed to do,
Right.
and I can see he's overreacting. And so knowing, well, then I must be overreacting,
Right.
trying to swallow that and try and say, okay, maybe I can bring this down. I
Right.
see that, and I see how I need to consciously remind myself of my values so that my day stays on track. Otherwise, I get distracted with, maybe somebody said something on Facebook and now I feel like I have to come up with all the reasons and work
Right.
this out. And yeah, so trying to go over my values. I have a list now and
Okay. Yeah. So it's given you the ability to maybe target your problems and work
yeah,
on them specifically.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Mhm.
Nice. Do you have anything that you want to promote or any message that you want to say?
No, not really. Just excited to have the chance to do this.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you very much for coming. Is there anything else that like you want to talk about your type that people might should know about your type or?
Um, I think the most interesting thing for me is the tester being the double feminine
Okay.
and having that explained because I've always been very aware of how the things are going on around me and it makes sense now, and that was a piece to the puzzle that I wasn't even expecting this to touch on.
Right. Do you do
But
you do you see yourself as audio or visual as well or?
visual,
Yeah. So
yeah,
visual and tester. Okay.
yeah,
Interesting.
memories tend to be, like I said, they're kind of fuzzy, but if I can start constructing what was it like around it,
Right.
then I'll fill back in.
Nice. Wow. Awesome. Thank you very much, Katie. It was really nice talking to you. Thank you for coming.
Yep,
Have a
have a
good
good
one.
day.
Bye.